So the final dragon grind is quite a long one and an annoying one, which is why I'm doing it first, but I think this is going to be at the end of the video. But the first thing is to get the Oni race. Do you wish to become an Oni? Yes, let's see if you're strong enough to do the challenge raid 10 times. This is exactly what I mean. The challenge raid. The last time I did this, it took me maybe an hour, or a little bit less than an hour, to do it with 4 people.
51 minutes. We did it.
And now I would like to do it solo, but I have no idea if I'm actually going to be able to do it solo. But just in case my last video didn't give me enough power, I've gained even more. So since last, I haven't really done anything, but I have bought some accessories and just found the best stuff that I have. The shop that I bought the Shanks upgrade from also had this heist suit, which kind of ruins, the look, but it does make me stronger. My maximum power that I'm doing currently is 400 billion. And then we have the 1 trillion damage up to 3.6 trillion. So I've gotten a lot stronger, and that's purely just by getting accessories and just buying stuff from that previous shop. Now I can get a little bit stronger already. The egg shop has the God of Hope title scroll, which I have right here. It's only a little upgrade, doing 200 billion extra damage with the U move, which, it's not that much, really. I'm already doing 3 trillion damage. But I think it's time to test this out against the challenge raid. Alright, so, without even needing to use Haki, I don't have Sukuna on right now. I could pretty much one-shot everything. I can pretty much one-shot everything without using any buffs up to like wave 70. And then I need to start using some. But, not that bad. 16 minutes. A lot better than like an hour. But I have to do this like 9 more times. So, here we go. Wow! Yes! Yeah, he's dead. Alright, time to do this again, I guess. Great.
Later.
So I just went to check how many raids I've done, and I have it. I only did like 4, but apparently I have it. I guess maybe I only needed to do the 1 because then it remembered how many I've done in the past. There was another requirement. I might have put it on screen before I put it back on. I have to kill 25 awakened dragons, V2 dragons. Luckily, it remembered how many I've killed before. Or that would have been really, really, really annoying. But now, I have to talk to this guy. Which I don't think I can do that yet. I need dragon fruit. Okay. You need a full gourd. Go talk to the bartender on a certain island. That island is all the way over here. On Redhead's Island. And then it's right to the left. I remember finding this guy when killing Shanks before. I've obtained a full gourd just like that. You have unlocked access to the final dragon dungeon, which is that. Okay, but what do I, do? Okay. Time for some research, I guess. Let's see what it is. The Trello doesn't actually give that much information. There's quite a few things this raid can give. One of them obviously is dragon. The other is some swords for Odin. Totally different quest. Dragon fruit doesn't have a drop rate, but it took me about an hour. It was an hour. I don't have it recorded. I think I had breakfast or something and I didn't have record on, and then, yeah. It took me about an hour. Not that bad. I guess it was kind of a good thing getting dragon fruit first, because now we get to see what the damage was originally. hybrid. Alright, this does... Oh god. 226 billion. We're already starting off so much higher than what Yoru did. Wait, I didn't notice. I didn't notice. There's just other guys who are looking right now too, but... Just go down here real quick. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? This looks so cool. But have you noticed? Alright, that's the same move. Have you noticed? Dragon Rage, assuming it's a buff. Have you noticed? Is that all the moves? Yep, that's all the moves. Have you noticed? Have you noticed the thing that you can't hear? Have you noticed? Is Dragon Rage still on? So is Dragon Rage a buff that I can constantly have on? But yeah, so we're already starting off though at such a higher damage rate. 500 billion. I think what was my... I think so. I'm assuming this is my strongest move. Yeah, 700 billion. Weaker than yours. I'm using all of my buffs. It's weaker than yours. But probably not for long. I don't know. Well, actually, no. Maybe? Actually, yeah. I think it will become stronger than yours. Because I was going to say, a lot of the buffs that I'm going to get will also affect yours. But there is one buff that won't affect yours, which probably will make this a lot better. But it's such a shame, man. If you haven't noticed, which I don't know how you wouldn't, once again, just like the AOPG devs have forsaken us and have not given Dragon sound. I mean, it's bloody Dragon, man. Like, surely out of all of the things that they give sounds to, they gave sounds to Snowfruit. Snowfruit. Some character that showed up in like Punk Hazard, I think it was, for, you know, not even like 100 episodes, not even that sort of character. Not a character that wasn't, you know, being hinted at for many episodes before, many sagas before. It was a character that showed up, I think maybe died or, you know, hasn't returned since. And she's not going to return. Maybe she does, but she's not going to return as like the final boss. Just some chick with Snowfruit. I think it's her. I think I'm thinking of the right person. That has sound. Dragon doesn't. What the hell, man? Alright, so we got Final Dragon Hybrid, but now it's time to get Final Dragon, the full form, which is done by going over here and doing a little bit of annoyance quest, you know, one of those kind of back and forth type quests. Oh wait, I probably need Dragon Fruit equip. You share my strength, but you've not yet obtained the full potential. Prove your strength and I'll give you the real strength. Such great wisdom you have bestowed upon me. Oh god. What the 150 final dragons? What? That's insane. Okay, yeah, I really screwed up. I should have used this egg shop a lot more. I had a lot of time, but I was... Yeah, I'm not ready yet. Wait, but how do I summon them if I can't... You're not ready yet. What do you... I'm so confused. Perhaps if I read the small print, I would have realized it was talking about the dungeon. That's right, the dungeon that I just did for an hour, I have to do again because it doesn't count my progress, and it's 150 times. I don't know why they made this decision, but I'm not going to show you any of that, obviously. Nor am I going to show me doing all 25 of the normal dragons, which it also didn't save, but the other one did for some reason. It's kind of weird, really. I mean, come on, I did this like 100 times. I'd made a whole video about it, doing it 100 times. You could have at least saved, you know, my previous progress somehow. Alright, I'm pretty sure I have enough now. You've proven your strength, so I'll train you. Talk to Final Dragon Keymaster to begin. Which I think means I'm going to need 5 normal dragon keys after I just used 25 for that. This total thing, give me 5. Yeah, so now I need 5 of those. Oh wait, crap, do I have enough inventory? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I shall use the power of these to create a key that summons the strongest creature. Talk to the other dude to continue. See a final dragon creature. Speak to the final dragon summoner and bring me the scale of the strongest creature. Okay. Bring me one. I've summoned the final dragon. Wait. Oh god, yeah, he's here. So this is probably going to be a very long fight, as you can see. Especially because I don't have snow fruit. Maybe I can switch. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be a long battle.
5 minutes later.
Wow. Didn't get a single thing. Okay, but quickly do it again. Because I've got the double drop rate for like an hour. Alright. And so begins the long ass grind. It would have been amazing if I only had to kill him 9 times. But not only is there 1% item you need, there's 2. But I mean, surely if it was like a 50-50 chance to get one or the other, I should have a pretty good chance of getting it next time, right? I swear to God, this happens in every single game. 2 dupes and an accessory 1% later, I finally have Flame Dragon. This happens every single time, man. Whoa! Oh, this is kind of small, actually. Let's get straight to the damage testing. It's pretty good, much better than Yor. Not only does it do a lot more damage, you can do it a lot quicker as well. The highest being 3.8 trillion, but we can get that a hell of a lot higher. The first thing will be Final Shanks. I pretty much have all of the requirements already thanks to some event shops and the Christmas raid. So the only thing I have to do is the original Shanks raid 30 times. This raid was terrible when it came out, and it still is terrible. Not only is the map huge, having to fly back and forth to kill the enemies, and no, I can't just shoot across because there's an invisible wall here. So as you can see, there's enemies over there. I literally can't hit them. It's also back when they did 30 waves. They stopped doing this after a while and brought it down to like 10, or now it's always pretty much 1 or 2, which is great. But back then, back in the past, 30 waves. It was hell. And I have to do this 30 times. 30 waves, 30 times. That is ridiculous. Now there is a way for me to AFK it. I can only use Lightning Breath because my Flame Breath bugs out eventually and screws everything over, so I can't do that. But I can go to the center of the map and just manage to snipe both spawns, which is great. But my god, is this the worst sort of grind like ever, man. I hated this. This is so annoying. But once that was over, I have it. Just like that. Easy peasy. And it's pretty cool. Visual effects, on point. As always. It's not as strong as Yoru, which is a good thing. But it does have one thing Yoru doesn't have. Sound effects. I can't believe I'm praising something for having sound effects. Not good sound effects. The sound effects are good, but not good ones. Just having them. I mean, like, come on. True Griffin is 0.9 times stronger than Pirate King, which adds up to about 1 trillion extra damage. This move definitely bugged out though. I don't know how it did 10 trillion. But 10 trillion will be nothing after this buff, because this will be the strongest buff I will get in this video. The Elf Staff. For you see, I thought Jolly Rapier V2 gave an overall buff, like the original, but it doesn't. This, however, does, and it gives a 3.7 times increase, and because it's a completely separate buff to all my other ones, it's not just increasing what I already had by a bit, it's completely separate. It's going to increase it by so much more than 3.7. You literally can't take what I had before and times it by 3.7. It goes through the roof for some reason because it multiplies the multiplier, which must multiply another multiplier, and it goes crazy high. Now this is the raid that made me realize I shouldn't wait until the end of the video to reveal Dragon, because this is my first attempt doing this. Before I obtained Dragon, it took me 17 minutes to do it with Yoru. The damage reduction that this boss has is insane. But luckily with Dragon, it takes less than a minute. Already is 17 times stronger, I guess, which is crazy. But it looks absolutely An hour later, I have all of the drops from the raid. And learn actually a good tip. You don't have to complete the entire quest line, which means you can also skip one of the items you need from the raid, and another just really annoying sort of, one of those just annoying quests that are just like, why? Just why? I mean, I can kind of see why, but why? It's just annoying, just why? But the staff gives a passive buff, and for some reason they didn't lock it behind the final quest, so as soon as you get it, you have it. Now, like I said, I don't know how these damage numbers make sense. Obviously, it's multiplying a multiplier that's multiplying another multiplier. But hey, we can still go even further beyond. Heroic Devil. Quite a lot of things you have to do, but not that bad. By the time you do 200 M1s, you would have killed all of the devils. The dash and jump I don't think is a thing anymore, because I don't believe I did 200 dashes to get this. And the find things are permanently on their respective islands. You can just go there and find them at any time. So quite a quick and easy quest actually. But no update can be complete without a raid. All of what I just did was to unlock or fully unlock the fighting style, which you need to do to get the mode. From the raid, I need these items, which are kind of not really the easiest to get, but maybe the raid is just really easy to do? Yeah, it is. It's pretty easy. Though there is a second phase to this boss that you can only do once you have the mode, that I do kind of want to drop from it, an accessory for the end game drip, but why does it have to be so rare? Heroic Devil. about a 50% increase over Toji, equaling to around 20 trillion more damage. Heroic Devil wasn't the only thing I got though. I have my final drip. Not maybe the best I've ever had, but it still looks pretty good. Most of these accessories are the best for devil fruits, or at least were at the time making the video. The only ones not being the cloak and of course my hat. For damage, I do an insane amount. Q does 100 trillion. E, if I can aim it, does 122 trillion. R does 152, which is the highest, with this being 137. Very, very insanely high. That is, for comparison, your probably still does like, I don't know, the strongest move is probably 5 trillion at this point in time. Even the strongest sword buff still, or like the strongest sword in general still probably doesn't get anywhere near. Like, it's absolutely insane. And there are still 2 more things to get that I actually grinded for around the same time because of issues. The first one is Shadow's Ruler's Contract. It's another separate buff, kind of like how Elf was, so we can expect a huge damage buff. I've forgotten, it's been that long editing this video, I don't remember what it was. The raid has 2 waves. The first one having 4 bosses with each having their own drop that you need to get, all being 1%. Then you have the second wave where you fight the final boss of One Piece, Emu or Emu or however you say his name, that also has a 1%, but as well as a 0.5 and a 2. You need all of these items to complete the quest. Now the title you could get from spinning, the Abyssal Mark you could get from the world boss of Shanks, but luckily I bought those 2 things from the Easter shop, so I don't have to worry about that, even though I ended up getting them anyway, so that's great. This game's so lucky, man. I literally needed 1 more contract for me to get a dupe of everything, but it gave me the final one instead of the dupe. My god, you're a lucky game. Fine, I'll play you again, maybe, when that update comes out. How do I talk to you? Sorry, I was in your dress, man. World moves because I allow it to. Okay. Can I have power, please, though? Oh. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. Oh, wait. So, okay. I'll be back.
Meanwhile,
For fighting style, I'll be getting Ultimate Slime. And without a doubt, this is by far the hardest raid by chances and difficulty yet. To unlock it, first you need to get the previous version of Slime, which only took me like 4 minutes. But then the current raid, my god. 2 waves. First boss, 10 quadrillion health. Second wave, 15 quadrillion health. And the chances. The first wave has 2 drops, one being for the race, which is the best at the moment, and the other being for the fighting style. Wave 2 has a title, which is also the best, but my god is that a low percentage, and the other 2 drops are for the fighting style. Now, most of these drops aren't that bad other than the title. It's just how long it takes me to complete the waves that is the problem. I left for an hour or so for breakfast, came back, got nothing. This is the first time that's happened to me. I got nothing for the first hour. Nothing. Perhaps tomorrow, after I get Shadow Ruler, I'll be able to at least get something. Hopefully. IFK grind the entire night. Was it worth it? No. I got a terrible sleep, but I did get all the items, including the title. Which means this is it. This is as strong as I'm ever going to get, because I'm probably never going to play this game again. So, there's only one last thing to do. Well, two last things. My review of this game and the damage test. First, we'll be testing out all of the damage upgrades that Slime has given me. Race, title, and style. And already I can tell from style alone being double what I had before, this is gonna be a lot. 270 trillion off the bat. 310 trillion. 345, and time for the big one. 382 trillion, and we're not done yet. For Shadow Ruler, I get 2,000 extra stats and everything, and a 50% overall buff. It's finally time to see how strong Final Dragon really is. Q does 437 trillion. E does 500 trillion. F 558, and for my final move 618 trillion. So close to 1 quadrillion. So close, but yet so far away. I bet if I did continue to play, I could totally get this to 1 quadrillion, but this is it. It's time for my review. Perhaps this ending isn't what you thought it was, and to be honest, I didn't think I was going to do this either. But after playing the game for so long, and probably finally saying goodbye to it, I just wanted to say a few things. One of which is a bit of criticism. As you can see, I have wings. Those come from my race that you don't see in 3rd C for some reason. It's just not visible. I don't know why. The other thing I wanted to quickly go through is the look of Dragon Fruit. I mean, when I first saw Dragon, when I first started playing the game, it didn't look the greatest, but there was nothing really to compare it to back then. I don't really remember if there was even a One Piece game that had a Dragon Fruit. I think this game is definitely the first one to do Gear 5, for sure. Maybe there might have been like a weird one that did Gear 5, but this was definitely the first like Gear 5, like proper Gear 5 game. And it was because of that I praised this game. I mean, it was cool that they were getting this sort of end game content out before anyone else, even though Dragon did look a bit weird. But now we're at Dragon V3, and as I kind of hinted a little bit, it looks terrible. I mean, maybe some people like it, but I don't really like the artwork that's on it. It just doesn't really, like, it's anime vibe, right? It's anime-y, but it just also doesn't look good. I think maybe because the rest of the world isn't in the style of this dragon, it just doesn't look very good. And as well, it's pretty small. This is definitely one of the smallest dragons I've seen. And my cousin Connor was playing this game, just having a look at it again, and he reminded me of how bad the original dragon looked, and this isn't much better. I mean, look at this flight animation. is he's literally, it's just like kind of wobbling a bit like strangely side to side. Like it's worse. Is it worse? I don't know. I can't tell. I haven't looked at normal dragon in the longest time, but I feel like it's worse. At least the original dragon, I think it did kind of like, you know, move independently, like the bottom and the middle and the top, like they, you know, it moved like a snake. This just kind of wobbles weirdly, and nowadays, right? Nowadays, we have other stuff to compare it to, like Grand Peace Online's dragon looks absolutely amazing, and it might possibly be better than Rel C's dragon. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out and when I get it. But for the fact that Grand Peace Dragon, just the way that you move is just so cool that alone might just make it one of the best dragons ever, just because of that, right? Maybe Rel C's dragon looks better, not that the Grand Piece doesn't look good, but maybe, you know, Rel C's will look better, but that movement system is amazing. Compared to this, it's terrible. And the problem, one of the biggest problems I have is Dragon V2 was better. Now, Connor, I don't know if you're watching this, but I don't think you've ever seen V2 Dragon. This is what it looks like. Now, it's definitely not the best, but look at that flight animation. It is 1,000,000,000,000 times better than both the original dragon and final dragon. This looks amazing in comparison, especially like the face, right? It's absurdly hard to try look at the face with these models, but it is 1,000,000 times better. Even like, I dare say, the moves technically look better as well, right? There's just kind of more going on, right? There's just more cooler looking moves, I would say. But it looks so much better and it flies so much better. And then Final Dragon is just like an embarrassment, I want to say. And even Hybrid has a similar problem. Now, moving aside the fact that Dragon V2 has sound effects, right? Moving that aside, at first I thought the models looked, you know, both good. Maybe one is better than the other, but I can't really be sure. But then I noticed something that's quite bad, and I have no idea how this got pushed through. This is Dragon V2. This is Dragon V3. Now, it might not be noticeable straight away until you look at his club. For some reason, parts of the club aren't on the club, and it's just sort of like floating. Especially here, it's at its worst. It's just kind of floating, and I'm so confused to how this got greenlit. Like, it is really annoying, because I notice this constantly. I'm constantly looking at it, just going like, why the hell is that looking like that? Like, how did they not notice this and fix it on before even day one, before it even released to the public? How did nobody notice that? Now, I'm not saying I didn't have a good time. I'm not saying that I don't like this game. What I am saying is, for my final experience, I am a little bit disappointed, right? I hadn't seen Dragon V3 at all, but I was expecting it to be so bloody cool. I was thinking, like, my god, you know, V2 Dragon, that was already pretty good, right? That I love the flying animation, you know, the moves were cool. Grand Peace is probably better, but if they're making a V3, then surely the V3 is going to be like mind-blowing, right? No, they actually backtracked and it got worse. it's just, yeah, disappointing. It's really disappointing. But I can't say AOPG hasn't always been like this. There's always been a few disappointing things here and there, but just kind of accept them, like with the sound effects. This has been a thing that's gone on for forever, ever since I started playing the game, I think. Some things sometimes just don't have sound effects, and you kind of just have to live with it, which you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to live with one of your favorite things not having sound effects, but you do. Now, I'm not actually gonna rate the game. I don't feel like rating it, because at the end of the day, I did have, a fun time, and I've got some good memories playing with all of you guys. So, it's one of those things where I'd probably give it a 5 out of 5 just because of, the enjoyment I had with playing with everyone. Maybe not as much as Shindo Life, though. Shindo Life was more fun, so maybe like a 4 out of 5. But for the game quality, if I had to rate on game quality, some stuff not having sound effects, it'd be pretty low, right? Pretty low. Like, the visual effects do always look nice. But, the game is dying. Player base shows it. People aren't really interested in this game anymore. At this point, they're adding new stuff that maybe looks better than the previous one, but they're just trying to stay alive that little bit longer until that new sun comes up, which we all know what that is. Rel Cs. Speaking of Rel Cs, it's finally time. Believe it's coming out extraordinarily soon. They messaged a couple weeks ago, or a week ago now, that they're 90% done. So it's close. I bet movie 3 might be coming out very soon. Maybe it releases the same time this video releases, which would be pretty spot on timing if that was the case. But another reason why I wanted to do this grind, it's not just because I wanted to get this game at its final form, get all the final things that I want. No, it's because this grind that I just did, it's time to do it again in Rel Cs. I'll be getting Yor, and I'll be getting Dragon, and probably many things other than that. But that is the goal. So I'll wait here until that new horizon finally chooses to appear itself. And you can believe me, I will get Dragon Fruit before Connor.